Hi, this is Jeffrey Kurt Financial Group, and today is Thursday, April 10, 2025. I wanted to do another video given that yesterday's video was before the news and the huge market rally. So this morning, I'm doing this about 11:30 in the morning, and who knows what the afternoon may bring. But I did want to share some thoughts about what happened yesterday, and then put it in an historical context to kind of think about maybe what's going to happen in the future. Not that the now is going to exactly mirror what happened in the past, but I think there is some things that are important to think about as we make decisions from here. So yesterday, the big rally was primarily driven by the delay of tariffs being imposed, and for 90 days we'll see what happens with that. Certainly there's still uncertainty about what's going to happen, and I think another part of what triggered yesterday's huge rally was the short selling, and there was some big short positions on that need to get covered. So when you cover a short, you buy. So a lot of buying power came in, which I think again accelerated the move higher, and gave us what became the third biggest up day in history for the S&P 500. So let's look at the history of the other top two up moving days, and then put it in the context of some of the down days. So the top two were both in October of 08. That was as we began the mortgage crisis and the great financial crisis of 08, 09. And the biggest one-day move for the S&P 500 was October 13, 2008. And the second one was a couple weeks later, October 28. That was 10.8%. But the worst moves, as you see from the chart we'll put on here, is the worst was the 1987 stock market crash, and then two of them in March of 2020 as the economy was shutting down for COVID. But then other than that, the other three top worst days are all in the fall of 08. So in September 29, we're down 8.5%. 2 weeks later, we're up 11.5%. And then 2 days later, on October 15th, we're down 9%. Back up on the 28th, almost 11%. And then finally down December 1 of 08, almost 9%. So again, not to say we need to repeat that, but I think it's a precedent of what could happen, and that the volatility is I don't think is going away yet. And there's some risk to the downside. Yes, there is some possibility we could move higher, but again, a lot of things that are uncertain and need to be worked out. A lot of changes in the economy and the geopolitical scene as well. So I think that the volatility may be still around. Hard to know exactly when it's going to crop up, but I think you need to be careful here. And I think that there's some there'll be some pockets and there'll be some opportunities, but also in general I think the risk is still out there. I'll be back tomorrow on Friday. Thank you for listening. Call with any questions if we can help in any way. Thank you again. Goodbye.